is that? Are you...
Yes, that's me. Are you surprised by my appearance? Irminsul and the surrounding lands have been reproduced here as they... We are because you are me and...
The news?
As greater imagine it this way. I'm merely the but you're finally here. My new self in the samsara.
If this is...
Though we share the same nature, our fates are when a branch grows into a...
That's why
That's a great insight. It's also precisely why you won't become like me. But perhaps I already... Along with the blessed... Don't worry. The growth of wisdom...
Come to think of it, thank you. Nothing makes me happier than discovering that the Archon I always admired, well, it's so nice.
The feeling is mute.
Could you tell me why you wanted to create me?
Ah, I see. Everything that day, even the sky itself, changed into a color. At that time, the seven were all... I had to protect. The disaster occurred to... The pain started. Had I not
So what
It's a kind of... It came from the very... The world is constantly... If we allow...
So...
At that time, I knew I couldn't... Which is why I created...
It's truly the...
Though it was selfish...
Well, did it work?
Thanks to the wisdom of the people of Sumeru. But... And then... From the very...
Oh no. I've experienced...
Yes. Even if I died, my existence and there's no... So, I took the purest branch of Irminsul as my incarnation in the next samsara, all in hopes that you would come here and remove me and my pollution from Irminsul forever.
Wait, no, I can't.
So you realize what that implies. You are very smart indeed. Irminsul has all the knowledge and memories of this world. And as you've realized just now, removing me from Irminsul means I essentially will never have existed in this world. But this is the only way to save Irminsul.
People love you so much and they've missed you so much over the past 500 years. I am exactly the same. So how can we just forget you like this? Is there really no other way? There must be something else I can do.
You're the god of wisdom, Booer. You should know that there is no other way.
But this is so cruel. I don't want to forget you.
No need to feel so sad, Booer. As someone who delights in wisdom, you should feel joy at finally finding the answer. These are the words in their entirety. The answer you've been seeking all along. Let the world completely forget me. We all nestle under the great tree of wisdom, peering out to perceive the world. From the earth and from the rain, we perceive its wonders, until we become a white bird to perch atop a branch, and finally snap off the most important leaf. Once upon a time, I alone dreamed in this world. In my dreams, everybody would also dream after they fell asleep. Wild and wonderful thoughts would emerge from their minds. Some tumbled to the ground, and others floated to the sky, connecting all things in the world into one dazzling net. Among a plethora of worlds were numerous smaller worlds, all of fate, finding within the tapestry their brilliant glow. I gradually understood that these indescribable and constantly changing things are the most profound things in the world. Only they can completely repel the madness. Only dreams can awaken consciousness from the deepest darkness. I'm the one who posed this question, yet also the one who sought a solution. Saving the world with the dreams of the people used to be my answer. And now, you've also found your own answer, and I shall return all the dreams to the people. Goodbye, people of Sumeru. May you be blessed tonight with the sweetest of dreams.
I'm alright. I'm just a little confused. We've just saved the world, right? So why am I crying? I don't know where this feeling inside of me is coming from, but I feel very sad. Just now, we used the power of two gnosis to successfully connect with the Ermin soul consciousness from 500 years ago. Then, we removed the remaining pollution from Merman soul.
Yeah, what's wrong? Weren't you there just now?
Huh? That sound. Traveler! Paimon!
I've been waiting here far too long. But finally I have the chance to be alone with you. All the precious time I wasted has finally paid off.
The doctor! What have you done?
Just a type of sound wave that can quickly put defenseless people into a dream. As I expected, it doesn't have any effect on gods. This is the only thing of interest I found among the sage's research. I thought I'd take it for a little spin. Don't worry. I know you would never forgive me if I actually killed them. I'm here to negotiate with you. Naturally, I won't do anything dangerous that could potentially damage our relationship.
Negotiate with me? I heard you had already left Sumeru. Why are you here again now?
I left Sumeru, but I also stayed in Sumeru. Even the God of Wisdom is restricted by the habits of cognition. How disappointing.
You mean there are many different versions of you in this world?
Yeah.
An astute guess. Even the same individual will have different cognitions at different ages. A long time ago, I made a major decision in hopes of preserving all my perspectives of how I observed the world. Observation is the first step of any experiment, but observing the current world doesn't satisfy me. It lacks an important dimension, that of time. So I saved segments of all my ages and made them into independent individuals. That's all there is to it. Indulge me. How does the God of Wisdom find my method of seeking knowledge?
It's an insult to the very concept of life. Life inherently has many rules and restrictions, each with its own significance and reason to exist. They can't be broken on a whim.
Good. Amazing, even. Indeed, it's difficult for humans to make peace with themselves, not to mention oneself from a different period.
Since you're in the Academia, why wait until now to show up? You could very well have stopped us and helped that fake god.
Simple. Let me ask you this. Would any staff member ever help the subject in the middle of an experiment? It was my experiment. So why should I interfere with the results?
The Academia saw the plan to create a god as their ultimate goal, yet you only saw it as an ordinary experiment. You really are crazy. If the experiment succeeded, you would have had a new god on your hands. How would you have faced your own god then? Would you still take the same stance? Would you still hold the same view of yourself?
I'm first and foremost a scholar. These results should be left to the judgment of the hypothetical me confronted with that outcome. But you're right. And that's exactly why I'm disappointed with the conclusion of this experiment.
As an individual, you don't have any sense of belonging. You seem to have even fewer convictions than a typical scholar.
Oh no, I certainly have my own convictions. They just don't fit your standards, that's all. All right, that's enough conversation for today. The experiment is over, and it's time to tidy up the equipment and reclaim any useful materials. For example, the Gnosis. Lesser Lord Kusanali, you're an intelligent Archon. I'm sure you understand the disparity in our combat abilities at this time. Besides, you have no way to use that Electro-Gnosis in battle.
Didn't you say you were here to negotiate with me? Somehow, it's starting to seem like you intend to take it by force now.
I'm merely stating a fact. After all, I'm also a scholar. Naturally, I hope to show proper respect and dignity to the God of Wisdom.
Your hypocrisy is built on absolute confidence. I understand your scheme, but... what if I were to destroy the Gnosis now and awaken the heavenly principles?
Awaken the heavenly principles? Do you think that's really possible?
The heavenly principles have been silent for many years, but the Gnosis are symbols of their control over Tevat and all the laws. Will the destruction of a Gnosis attract the attention of the heavenly principles? And if so, how do the Fatui plan to deal with the consequences? Do you dare to gamble such a possibility with me?
Gamble? How surprising. I thought you would show evidence or use rigorous reasoning to prove your point. The word gamble is the last thing I expected to hear from the God of Wisdom. But this is a clever move. You must have seen through me when I first captured your consciousness. As a scholar, I respect all possibilities. This has always been my principle and is an essential trait as an experimenter. Indeed, I can't ignore this possibility. So tell me then, what are your conditions?
This foreign Gnosis will only lead to disaster if it stays in Sumeru. But this Electro-Gnosis is the prize I obtained after defeating one of your fellow Harbingers. Now, as the one who initiated this cascade of events, shouldn't you pay the corresponding price?
Price? Interesting. What price would you have me pay?
How about erasing all your other segments?
What?
So this is how you wish to restrict me, the most threatening opponent of the Nation of Wisdom. What you request of me is like plucking out the eyes I have placed in the dimension of time. Segments are extraordinarily difficult to make. They require extremely rare resources and enormous amounts of time and effort, requiring me to destroy them all here and now. Bravo. A suitably wise decision on your part. Yes, how very interesting. Can I assume that you have long been wary of me? Among all the versions of me, this segment you see now is the most selfish. If it weren't me, your idea wouldn't have worked. What did you see when you were imprisoned? You were observing me, and that's how you know I've long grown tired of their doubts and endless arguments.
Like you said, it's difficult to make peace with yourself. Being as smart as you are, have you managed to do that?
I see. If you think all those versions of me are worth a gnosis, then deal.
You sure didn't hesitate much. Is the relationship between all the versions of you really that bad?
I don't think there's any need to dwell on that. The surplus versions of me can be exchanged for a gnosis. Do you think anyone can offer themselves at a higher price? Besides, with my abilities, it's only a matter of time until I find better perspectives. Perhaps it's best to say, you're just temporarily ahead. But what I'd like to know is, how can you be sure that I've really erased them?
I can see your remaining honesty.
What a ridiculous decision!
Sheer
You can't be
foolishness.
serious!
How could I have been so short-sighted?
You think this is the end? Wait, I'll have
I
please
will
wait!
You'll make this moment count.
You will regret this!
Well, have you confirmed that it's complete?
Here, take it. The future of Sumeru City will be in my hands alone. I will shut down the Akasha and let curiosity and the thirst for knowledge drive the realm of academics once again. There won't be any further gaps for you to exploit.
It truly pains me that my academic achievements have never been appreciated in my homeland. Of course, I have no interest in being rejected by this city for a third time. Another chess piece. And where is your dendronosis?
Don't be greedy, Harbinger of Snezhnaya.
No, this is a different transaction. If you intend to turn off the Akasha anyway, then there's no further use for the Gnosis of Sumeru, is there? Besides, isn't it the Archon's duty to deliver what's desired of the Seeker? Oh, judging from your expression, you don't seem to find the idea very agreeable. Then let's think of it this way. Since you're the god of wisdom, how about I exchange some knowledge with you?
People exchanging knowledge with the God of Wisdom is the stuff of legends. Yet here you wish to exchange knowledge for the God of Wisdom's property. Arrogant as that is, it has piqued my interest.
Let me ask you, have you in all your mighty knowledge ever heard the rumor that the skies of Tevat are fake?
What?
Huh?
That's the secret hidden by Ermin's soul concerning the truth of this world. Once I finish telling you about this, it will be time for me to say goodbye. With negotiations, we've all gotten what we wanted. I'm very glad I got to meet you like this.
Your arrogance may know no bounds, and convictions may mean nothing to you. But I'll still listen to what you have to say.
They her nose.
Together! Okay. Wake her up.
Huh?
Are you awake? Kali says it's time for breakfast. Come on, get up! Good morning! How are you feeling today? Good to hear. It looks like we've recovered pretty well. Not even Tainari could stop us from going out now, right?
Hey. Battle when we were Arborville. I heard there was Sino who brought us here. Tainari complained that Sino was always sending people to him, but he had taken great care of us. Exhausting ourselves, we had a good rest. Days we finally covered enough to be able to go back out. Tainari and Kali has said the caution has been turned off. No longer rely on it. Maybe get packed up lives. It'd be a good.
Come on, Traveler, let's go!
Ow. Here we go again! Alright, well.
I can do this. I can do this.
Well, right. I guess we're gonna be have.
I'll lead the way.
We'll have Tainari. Go move forward with this. That's fine. Stuff. Ah!
We're here. This should be... Huh? Where's the crab? Did it secretly scuttle away?
The traps weren't triggered, so it should still be here. Odd.
Oh, it's right here. Here.
You honored our agreement and waited here until we returned. As such, I'll hold up my end and give you another mechanical part. Keep it safe. I'm not giving you another one if you lose it. Glad you're satisfied. If you want more mechanical parts, take us deeper into the contaminated region. I want to see what happened there. What caused the Avidya forest to become like this?
So this is the contaminated region that everyone's been talking about. Oh, it definitely looks different from normal. It's like really creepy and suffocating.
Do you feel unwell at all? Good.
Fine.
It's as I predicted. Elemental power confers a degree of resistance against the contaminated region's influence.
How do you know that?
I haven't entered the contaminated region for a proper investigation, but I've conducted quite a few controlled experiments. My observations during our time here have all but confirmed my hypothesis. Look at these flowers. How are they different from normal?
The things that come out of them?
This flower species is formally known as the Sumeru rose, but it is also known as the ley line lodestar.
Oh.
They're sensitive to ley lines and emit varying amounts of light in response. Excessive brightness indicates a dangerous level of ley line activity in the surrounding area. From the looks of things, the ley lines around here are already out of control.
You're saying the contamination here is coming from ley lines?
I can't confirm that right now, but I think that is the case. Let's take another look around and see if we can discover more clues.
You know, we haven't seen any animals this entire time.
Now that you mention it.
The birds used to chirp really loudly, and there were a lot of foxes.
This contaminated region currently appears to have a critical efflux of ley line energy, which is probably the root cause of the patient's cognitive disturbances. Some animals have keen awareness. They sensed something abnormal in this area and fled.
Leaky ley line sure can cause a lot of damage, huh?
Like how plants have preferred growth conditions, we also gradually habituate to our surrounding environment. Climate, temperature, humidity, intensity of ley line energies. When people live under fixed conditions, they reach a sort of homeostasis with their environment. This equilibrium is broken when the surrounding environment abruptly changes, causing people's bodies to react in abnormal ways. If normal fluctuations in temperature occur, then our bodies automatically adjust. However, the average person cannot adapt to changes in ley line energy, and so they fall ill.
Then why are we okay?
I'm not sure why you are, but she and I are fine because our elemental capabilities allow us to adapt to this kind of change. Of course, it's not a good idea to spend too much time in areas with concentrated ley line energy. The only one who can freely traverse this place is probably the mechanical crab.
Oh.
That's about it for the investigation. Help me find an open space. I want to test something. Environment, no wind. Target parameters, normal. Setup complete. Excellent. Looks like it's working.
What's this?
A purification device that I made. It can absorb excess ley line energy and temporarily stabilize an area.
What a neat thing! Let's set up more and cover the entire region!
I wouldn't mind if that would actually work. Unfortunately, once this contamination is present, it isn't something that a few purification devices can fix.
Figures.
The purification devices have their limits. At best, they can only prevent the contaminated region from expanding temporarily.
Right.
If we want to permanently eradicate the contamination from the ley line effluents, we'll need to tackle the source. That's right.
Huh? The mechanical crab is acting a little strange.
Something's approaching.
Oh,
So that's
alligator.
it. Now that the ley line energy has stabilized, the monsters that had left are starting to return. Get rid of them quickly. Don't let them get close to the purification device.
Okay.
I hear everything.
Propagate!
Okay.
That's all of them.
Oh. Oh, friends.
Hey! Where are you? Wait for us! Let's hurry and keep up. The mechanical crab went that way. Let's keep up.
Help! Help!
Allow me.
Positions. This dance is for you. Yeah.
Enshroud. Keep up. Let's nip that in the bud. One with the forest.
Okay, I think I understand a little bit more.
Rust and reboot. Here. Ha!
Here. Here.
Kill. Ha!
Like I said,
Can't see.
it's not sounds that I've normally Like a lot of these names, proper pronunciations don't like are like
Positions.
have words that like words that I can't or sounds I don't know what they make.
Hold the line.
One with the forest. Keep up.
Spare me. Please spare me.
Okay.
Hey, are you okay?
Yeah, bruh.
These injuries are superficial. Don't move, I'll patch you up.
Who are you all? What happened to those mechanical monsters?
They're gone.
Don't worry, we took care of them.
Oh, good. That's good.
You okay there, bruh?
It's a monster! Hurry, attack it!
Sorry. Sorry about that. He's with us. Yeah, he's
How do we
fine.
explain this? Krabby here isn't a bad guy. It heard you shouting for help and brought us here to rescue you.
It's faking it. It has to be. Maybe it's gonna partner up with the other mechanical monsters and kill me.
Yeah. That'll be hard considering they're now a pile of scrap.
Do you know what's inside the forest? It's all crawling with mechanical freaks.
Good. Maybe we could get closer.
I just came here to pick herbs, but I accidentally went into the contaminated region and almost died.
Well, get out of there. Get out of here and...
I gotta get out of here. Ah, yes. I have to escape.
Okay, so go that way and up that way and...
Be careful. These mechanical life forms are up to no good. It'd be best if you stayed far, far away from them. No wonder the academia wanted to completely ban the existence of mechanical life forms. Those things should be annihilated.
Dang.
Are you okay?
His inarticulate speech and bodily tremors indicate psyche disruption. He's been inside the contaminated region for too long.
Okay, so we need to put him down, right?
We've purified the
okay.
ley line energy over there. Follow this path out and you'll soon see the village.
Right.
At that
Yeah.
point, someone will bring him to Kale for help. I already prepared medication that will return him to normal.
Oh.
So you think you did a good job and want a part as your reward?
It's so hard to understand.
Alright, regardless of what you're thinking, you did some real good this time. That's why I'll give you another mechanical part. Need any help with it? Guess not. Well, make sure to hang on to it. What was going through your owner's mind when he made you, I wonder? You're like a giant mechanical crab on the outside and a fluffy little hamster on the inside.
like a hamster
And
controlling it.
also, how do you feel about that person saying that you're as evil as the other mechanical life forms?
Oh, I'm totally evil.
Okay, it definitely doesn't understand you.
It seems like it possesses limited understanding only towards matters related to mechanical components. Help others to get parts. That's probably its thought process. As for why it, or rather its owner, is collecting so many components, I'm not sure. It's getting late, so let's set up camp for the night.
Alright.
We'll explore further tomorrow.
Okay. Alright, we'll just pitch a tent
Hey,
somewhere.
over here! Come on, you big lummox, raise your head and look up!
Oh, sorry.
Let's set up camp here.
Okay.
All right, Paimon also thinks it's a good spot.
Any particular reason?
This place is perfect to put up a big tent.
Yeah,
We can also set up a cooking pot and cook tons of delicious food.
very Paimon route.
You're not wrong, but the primary reason for choosing this place is because its higher elevation keeps us away from the water vapor below. Rainforests are very wet. You should always be careful when spending the night in damp places. For the next tasks at hand, let's divide and conquer. I'll set up the tent, you'll be in charge of making the fire, and Paimon will forage for edibles nearby.
Leave it to Paimon. Paimon's a pro.
Okay.
I'm not expecting that much. Just do what you can.
Alright.
That's right. You can use rushes to start a fire in the wilderness.
Yep.
Their
I just-
piths are relatively dry and can be readily set aflame. The downside is that they produce a lot of smoke.
Traveler, Tainari, Paimon couldn't find any food.
Okay, I have a whole
Paimon
bunch.
didn't know that rainforest had so many interesting plants until we came here. There were all sort of weird-looking mushrooms, but Paimon didn't know which ones were edible. Paimon also saw wild berries on the ground, and Paimon was gonna fly over and pick them up, but the dead leaves on top suddenly started moving. It freaked Paimon out.
Those were probably deadleaf butterflies. They camouflage as dead leaves to evade predators. My guess is that they mistook you for a bird when you flew over, so they fled. Little did they know that you were more scared than they were. Never mind. The tent's up, so you two go rest. I'll forage for food.
Sure. I have
Oh,
all. Oh,
you found some already.
good boy. Reasonable than Paimon.
Hey! Paimon understands it this time. It wants mechanical parts again.
Sorry, no part this time. That task wasn't important enough. If every little thing resulted in a reward, then it might start to take advantage of the system. I'll note little things
Right.
like this and give a cumulative reward at a later time. That is one reason.
It looks really sad.
After some further thought, it might come up with some weird misunderstanding if I don't give it something. All right, here's another for you. I'm off to prepare dinner. We'll take shifts on lookout duty tonight. You two can sleep first. I'll wake you up later.
We need lookouts?
Yes. Even though most animals fled because of the ley lines, we can't completely let down our guard. It's settled then. I'll set up some pest-repelling devices so poisonous insects don't come crawling into the tent.
I'm sorry, what?
Have a good night.
Wait.
Not too good, though.
Wait. Poisonous insects?
Hmm? You're still awake? Hmm?
Okay.
Paimon's getting sleepy. Is this because of the ley lines?
It's also
It's
late.
been a while since we camped outside like this.
Yeah, it's been ever since, you know.
This is like when we just started adventuring together. Nighty-night.
Hmm? You're awake earlier than I expected. Did you sleep well?
Who's
You
sleeping?
have to maintain constant vigilance in dangerous places like this. Yawning all the time like that is no good.
Are we?
If you can't stay awake, it's okay. Go sleep some more. I'm not tired yet. Really?
Mitch.
You don't need to push yourself. I'm used to staying up all night because many plant and animal species can only be observed during nighttime.
Figures.
Speaking of which, have you seen the crab? It was scampering around over there just now, but I don't know where it went.
Very
So
good.
you can tell. My suspicion is less towards the crab and more directed to its unrevealed owner. A
Surprised you haven't
ley line
named it yet.
effluence of this magnitude occurred without any warning. Someone probably disrupted the natural flow of the ley lines.
Alright.
Until we fully understand the situation, take extra caution. The academia has banned mechanical lifeform research for years, so the origin of these creatures is very suspect. Topics related to mechanical lifeforms were popular in the Spontama for a time. Some of my juniors had also thrown themselves into such research. They proposed an intriguing idea: use our knowledge to create a new and practical lifeform that could help humanity conquer nature. However,
yeah.
no matter which modules or parts are installed, a machine is innately a construct that receives and executes commands. They can never possess self-awareness like us or other living organisms. In their pursuit to discover the differences between mechanical and biological life forms, zealous researchers performed unregulated vivisections and other absurdly cruel experiments on animals.
Ugh.
Research on mechanical life forms was thus banned. The irony is that the researchers became even more impetuous afterward. Who knows? Maybe this subject will be unbanned in a few years. That's a difficult question to answer. I'm interested in the topic of mechanical life, but I don't like the researchers' attitudes. It's just my personal opinion. My ancestors and the Valuka
Oh, there it
Shuna
is.
of the desert coexisted together and supported one another. The bloodline of my people was born from this symbiotic relationship. So to me, all life is important. To understand life, you must first respect it. Life is not an expendable commodity, and knowledge should not be wielded like a scepter. These are the points of contention I have with some researchers, and why I left the academia. By placing yourself above other life forms, what kind of results do you expect to get from researching pure life with impure intentions? Really?
That's right.
Well, I'm glad to hear it.
Ah, there you are.
Coffee? Did you prepare this for us?
This thing.
All right. Seeing that you're working so hard to help out, I'll give you another part. You're not planning on using it. Many of your own parts are critically degraded, and you're running low on power. All right. Suit yourself. Oh, and thanks for the coffee, but I'm about to go to sleep. Leave it with her. The night watch is yours. Stay safe.
Coffee, Krabby.
Sorry. Paimon slept through the entire night.
Your punishment is solo watch duty.
Don't worry. Paimon will be sure to stay awake next time.
Good morning, Traveler and Paimon. Quick question. Do you feel off at all? Me too. The farther in we go, the closer we get to the source of the ley line effluence. We'll be heading out earlier today. I'll take down the tent.
Is there something we can do?
Extinguish our fire so we don't set the entire forest aflame. Also, retrieve the pest-repelling devices from last night. We don't want to affect the ecosystem here.
Gotcha.
Paimon will take care of the fire.
I'll retrieve the pest repelling
All
devices.
right. Let's meet back here later.
Righto.
Guess it'll have to wait until we return.
What's going on?
I also just remembered that I forgot to apply essential oil to my tail.
What?
You probably noticed that it isn't as glossy as usual.
Nope, I don't see it.
Perhaps one night doesn't make too much of a difference. I'll make a new blend when we get back. It should make up for last night. I should have some leftover herbs from last month.
Spring forth!
Can't wait for videos to use that. Alright, hi, oh, wait. Be able to talk to Paimon?
All right. It's about time to head out. As we go further in, we may encounter more berserk machines. The effects of the ley lines will also increase. If you're struggling, it would be wise to avoid conflict. Try to conserve as much energy as possible until we reach the source of the contamination.
Roger. Righto.
As I thought, the closer we get to the contamination source, the more mechanical monsters that appear.
Dance with the waves! With all my strength! Yeah!
One with the forest.
Frick, I missed.
Allow me! Scatter! Billowing surge!
Can't see.
Propagate! Positions! Ha! Yeah!
Cha, ha. 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 Ga.
Oh, jeez.
Rest and rebuild!
I'll uproot you. Ha. Cha, cha,
Germinate! Scatter!
cha. Cha, cha.
All eyes on me! Here! Ha! Yeah! Yeah! Huh. Yeah! 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 Ha! Hold the line!
One with the forest.
There we go. Oh. Still. Oh. 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 Apparently Zubair is. Huh?
It's stuck here!
Oh. Oh, man,
Upon closer inspection, the plants here are really different.
you're very sparkly.
Leyline energies are also stronger here. This may be the place we've been looking for. Ready yourselves. We're going in.
Alrighty. Okay. Oh, I guess I'll use this team. We're probably gonna get a trial Tainari. Yep. Noblesse. Hunter's Path. Is there? Yeah.
There's a ton of mechanical monsters here! They made this place their lair!
Looks like there's no way to sneak by. Let's take care of them quickly.
Make yourselves at home! Hey!
Adept back.
Boba, get them! Ja. Shazam!
Ka, ka, ha, ka. Keep up.
Okay, well, went.
What is this?
Oh,
Leyline energy is spilling out from here. This device. It's extracting energy from the ley lines without end.
what?
Who in the world would do this without considering the consequences? The ley lines won't be able to repair themselves if their flow is perpetually disrupted like this.
Oh,
That's terrible! We have to stop it!
should we break it?
Oh, Paimon see. Paimon doesn't see controls anywhere!
Standing here is equivalent to being directly showered in ley line energy, which may cause irreversible damage to your body.
So let's get
Take Paimon and get out of here. I'll see if I can find a way to turn this thing off.
But you're...
You're also vulnerable to the ley lines, right? We're staying. We can't leave you here by yourself.
Then let's look for it together. If there is no control unit here, then there must be a trapdoor somewhere.
Hey, friend. Crab friend.
There it is. Hey, wait for us.
Okay, let's follow. Alright, follow the Krabby. You know, I would have loved it if you actually started losing health when you got close to this thing. Or like had like a withering effect. Oh hey, a chest.
Keep up.
Forgo the impossible path.
What's this?
Ah,
It'll only show up if you step on it?
Be careful and watch your step.
um, well, in the meantime, how about we try a poll? Okay, purple. Okay, okay, Noelle, Razor. Nice. I mean, that's it. Right there. Okay. Oh, right, this. Guys? How? I'm stuck! I'm freaking stuck! Ah! Oh, I got out. Yeah, I knew I could do that. I knew I would. I knew I'd be safe. Right? Yeah, totally. Hmm?
Look! Someone's here! Are you the one that's taking the ley line's energy? Turn off that machine now! Why aren't you saying anything? Too ashamed?
I think they might be dead.
His body is cold. It's emaciated, and his eyes are sunken, likely from chronic malnourishment and stress. He collapsed and never got back up. What exactly happened here?
Sure he's probably not. You sure he's not dead?
Almost forgot about you. Here, this is the last one.
What is it doing?
I'm not sure. Judging by this room's layout, this place was a laboratory. We should find a repository of research documents if we keep going.
Right.
The file room will definitely give us some clues, so let's go take a look. Maybe we can piece together what happened here.
I hope so. Okay, well, going.
Wow! It's huge in here!
This place is a natural hiding spot with how hidden it is. The pipes continue further. Let's head in.
Okay, fine.
Did you two find anything?
There are a lot of lab notes, but it would take way too long to read through them all. I found a tape recording used for an experiment, and based on its serial number, it's from 2 years ago.
Okay.
Tape recording?
Yeah, it's like
Yes, the Spontima created a device that visually records experiments and consolidates the final production into a tape. However, These devices are expensive to make and aren't entirely stable. That's why they are only used in some laboratories and do not see wider usage.
Man, like that sounds cool. I wonder, like, too bad we can't make that in the real world, right?
Come on, let's watch it.
Hold on, let me figure out how to play the tape. It goes in there. Ah, okay, this should do it.
Kakata? Kakata? Seriously, I look away for 1 second and you're gone?
Oh.
There you are. Look here. This is our new home. I, Abatui, will unleash my talents here and amaze those ancient fossils at the Academia. Oh, you're also quite happy. Kakata, do you know what we're about to do? Yes, I thought not. Listen up, Kakata. I'm going to make a mechanical life form that can be mass-produced. The technology will be unlike anything else that exists. I'll use mechanical organs, and electric currents will course through them like blood. A steel-cast heart that will beat forever, and a brain of myriad components that can think like mine. Inspiration from the ruins and the research that the Academia had banned. I hope everything can start anew from this place. When you can understand our language and live among us, you will no longer be a boring machine, but a truly living being.
Oh, I hope we can bring him to the Golden Apple Archipelago. Arcata, I mean.
It's fine. You will understand. One day, you will understand me.
Karkata is the mechanical crab, right? And that researcher named Abatui said he wanted to prove something to the Academia?
And research.
I remember now. I had a junior researcher named Abatui. He was expelled from the Academia for researching mechanical life forms.
Junior researcher?
Yeah? What's wrong?
Nothing. Paimon was just wondering, doesn't Abatui look older than you?
He is, but academic progression isn't tied to age. I finished my studies a while ago, so subsequent students generally considered me as their senior.
But you're younger than him.
Oh.
Of course, age can be an issue. For a while, people always dragged me into pictures. I felt like some kind of animal on display. That isn't important. Let's go and see if we can find other tape recordings.
Alright, alright.
Keep up.
Look, look! Paimon found another tape! A date is written on it. Let Paimon see. It's from a half a year ago!
That's quite the time gap. I wonder what happened in between.
I'm dying!
It's rare that you malfunction because of an operational error. Seems that making coffee is still somewhat difficult for you. Or is there an issue with my set parameters? All right, there you go. Water entered the chela and caused it to short circuit, so it couldn't receive signals from the ganglion. Look at me,
What?
talking to you like this. You can't understand me anyway, can you? It's fine. I swapped in some new parts, so you should be all right now. Try moving around. Everything in working order? Be more careful next time. We're tight on money right now, so we don't have a lot of parts or power to spare. I'm glad. Karkata, did you know? Yesterday, I dreamed that you could talk.
The Golden Apple Archipelago?
Aren't the bunch at the Academia always saying things like, mechanical intelligence is just an extension of statistics? They were blown away when they saw us talking with each other. Too bad it was just a dream. Forget holding a conversation with me. You're so simple that you probably wouldn't even notice if I died.
Oh.
Never mind. I should probably be worrying about next month's power.
Oh.
After Abatui left the Academia, everyone lost contact with him. I thought he was so despondent that he gave up on researching mechanical life forms. Instead, he had holed up here and continued his experiments.
Paimon doesn't feel like he's a bad person. He even changed out Karkata's broken parts. Why would he mess with ley lines?
Let's keep looking around. Ha! Keep up. Following the serial numbers, the next recording should be here. The writing is sloppy. Perhaps his state of mind had changed.
I am dead.
There's also an undated tape in the wrong spot. Doesn't seem like Abatui put it there.
Maybe Karkata helped him with sorting.
It's hard to say. These are the last 2 tape recordings. Let's watch them.
Sorry, Karkata. I was just thinking about something. Today might become a special day. In my recent experiments, I successfully gave you a living being's instincts. When you're low on power, or if one of your parts is damaged, you will prioritize your survival command and proactively recharge or replace your parts. That is a very dangerous thing. And today, I did something even more dangerous. I've officially activated the 3rd generation ley line extractor. The ley lines will serve as our power source from now on. Conducting research on mechanical life forms requires a large amount of power. Even if I scrimped and saved, the more I have wouldn't last for long. I'm also getting tired, Karkata. I don't know what's driving me to continue with this research anymore. They say that even if it simulates the operation of a living creature's organs, a machine is still an ice-cold tool. I want to prove them wrong. I want to turn you into a living, breathing, and talking being. I'm not talking about anything cheerful, Karkata. Modules for language, emotion, and movement. I've been working my absolute hardest to augment and refine your functionalities, but I've never seen an effective response. You are my finest success, but even you can't understand me. All you can do is execute limited responses based on preset commands or keywords. Karkata, I wish you could speak to me, even just once. Yes, you cannot understand me, so you cannot answer me either. It is what it is. In a few days, I'll sell the failed ley line extractor for some more and continue my experiments. Life goes on, and I have to as well. I don't have any other choice. This is new. If I place another 2 control modules here to simulate the brain's thalamus... of course my heart decides to act up now. Why did I cut medication from our expenses? Karkata, come help me. Strange. I feel weak. Oh no, I have to shut down the extractor. Shut it off. If we let them recharge indefinitely, they'll go out of control. Right. I never input a command to shut down the extractor, so you don't understand what I'm saying. In the end, it's just like the academia said. Mechanical life forms only bring danger. My research... was there any point to it at all? I'm sorry, Karkata. In the end, I still wasn't able to turn you into a true mechanical life form.
I see. So the ley line effluence was an accident. After Abatui's unexpected death, the mechanical monsters were driven by their instincts and continuously drew out power from the ley line extractor. This eventually resulted in severe damage to the ley lines.
Paimon understands. Then why didn't Karkata go haywire like the other machines?
Because Karkata is different from the other machines. Structures similar to living organisms, the ability to cry and laugh, and capacity for independent thought. To Abatui, only a machine with these features could be considered a mechanical life form. Perhaps only by building such a machine could he have the academia acknowledge his protracted research. But if he had slowed down and saw Karkata as a friend instead of an experimental product, he would have noticed. Karkata can't speak. And yet it cares about Abatui far more than it does about itself.
What does that mean?
You'll see in a bit. But before that, we have a more urgent task at hand. First, let's find the control unit for the ley line extractor and shut it down.
Oh. Ah! Oh,
More of this transparent flooring. It feels like a maze. Keep up.
Aha.
Ha! Hoo! Ha! Hoo! Ha!
Oh, these are bad
Who do you think you are?
Whee!
Below us is the final room. The control unit is likely in there.
The way ends here. Wanna try jumping down?
Enshroud! I hear everything! Keep up.
Nice and spicy. Magical lamp. Watch this.
Be still.
Everyone hold hands. The Temple of Wisdom. Here for it. Boba, get them.
Cascade.
Hey-ya! Let's sweep the deep.
One with the forest. Let's nip that in the bud. Can't see? I'll uproot you.
Sharing my knowledge.
Mind the deluge. Be still.
Shazam!
One with the forest. I hear everything.
Out of the frying pan, magical lamp.
There you go.
This should be the control unit. Once we turn it off, the ley line extractor should also shut down. Without an external force damaging the ley lines, they should start to slowly repair themselves. Oh, but I bet you two are more worried about Karkata. Let's head back.
Yeah. Ah, boy. Oh.
Keep up.
Ah, right here. Okay, practice here. Oh. Oh no. Oh. That's kind of vexing, but but can't. Oh no. Oh. Oh.
So, Karkata has been collecting parts because it thinks doing so will fix its owner?
Karkata is unable to understand the concept of death. However, it probably remembers when Abatui replaced its parts when it malfunctioned, and how that restored it to an operational state.
Right.
It's true that Karkata isn't able to think or understand many topics, but it is like a small child that imitates what adults do.
So that's why it kept stealing mechanical parts. But it can't repair its owner, no matter how hard it tries.
Yes, but the important thing is that it formed the thought of wanting to repair Abatui. No one knows how this thought came to be, but it has even suppressed the instincts that Abatui had installed.
Yeah,
If it
that's
really is as we've predicted, this research truly will make waves in the academia. It might have been possible to achieve this with ancient technology, but no one has been able to do the same with modern tools.
Karkata? Karkata? Can you hear Paimon? Tainari says you're awesome!
It reached its limit. It hasn't recharged this entire time, nor has it replaced its severely damaged parts. It's a miracle that it managed to hang on for so long. I'm going to confirm that the ley line extractor has shut down. Come with me. Let them be alone for a while.
Oh.
Keep up!
He did amazing. Okay.
The ley line extractor has ceased operations. Traces of ley line energy are still in the atmosphere, but the effluence's source has been stopped. The purification devices will handle the rest. Moving on, those affected by the ley lines need immediate care. We'll put up an announcement on the bulletin board about the dangers of entering the contaminated region, and for symptomatic individuals to find Kale. According to the Academia's policies, we need to bring everything back. Research materials related to mechanical life forms will be destroyed, and Karkata will be disassembled and sealed away.
But it's research.
You two should return first. I'll take care of things here. Although we've stopped the source of the effluence, the ley line energy in the air exceeds normal values. Your bodies won't be able to hold up if you continue to stay here.
But...
Listen, the Traveler hasn't rested very well, right? Also, it'll take some time to pack up all the research documents. You're not familiar with this research after all, so you won't be of much use here. Tell the Adventurers Guild that the incident has been resolved, and then get some sleep. We can discuss matters tomorrow. Oh, and don't talk about Abatui. The fewer that know about mechanical life form research, the better.
All right. Then let's go back to Catherine.
Why are you still here? I'll take care of this. Go and report to the Adventurers Guild, and then get some rest.
So wrong. All of his research was just here with him.
Something on your mind again? Let's work through it together. 2 heads are better than 1.
Up still. Back to Catherine. And robot waifu.
Anyway, so the contaminated region turned out to be a ley line effluence deep in the forest. Things are already getting back to normal.
I see. Thank you for your hard work. Once the excess ley line energy dissipates from the air, we should be able to make an announcement for residents to resume their normal activities. This is the stipulated reward. Please accept it.
Is Karkata going to be sent back to the academia? It's already damaged, but Paimon feels sad thinking about it getting disassembled.
Marvelous piece of technology.
Oh, then how about we find Tainari tomorrow and ask him not to do that? Paimon really wants to go right now, but Tainari said that we would discuss matters tomorrow. We'll probably make him mad if we go now, huh? Alright then, we'll find Tainari tomorrow and tell him not to disassemble Karkata.
Right, alright. Got the reward.
Never thought I'd get to come to Sumeru on a work trip. Things are going great!
There are still so many places for us to
This is the first time the boss has taken me on an international work trip. I need to show some initiative.
Mushrooms this, mushrooms that. I spent all day thinking about mushrooms. At this rate, 1 or 2 will probably pop out from my head tomorrow.
I have
Dia,
to find the best claymore in
I bet
Sumeru.
she's doing something exciting again today.
Mood whiplash. I'm guessing that he's going to that Tainari is not going to be not going to be not going to be disassembling Karkata.
How are you feeling? Sleep well? We should go find Tainari. How do you think we should ask him?
Just listen, hear him out.
Keep your voice down. The lilac daphne, a daphne of the genus Thameliaceae, has a strong anticonvulsant effect, can be made into an anesthetic powder. Extrapolating from these two datasets, it would be particularly potent against Piscine species. Hey, make sure you're getting all this down.
Oh.
Karkata?
Hey!
I thought I told you all to keep your voices low.
Right.
Plants aren't afraid of noise, but your shouting is making my ears ring.
You didn't disassemble Karkata?
Why would I do that?
But Paimon thought you said, according to the Academia's policies...
So that's why you two barged in like barbarians at this hour. Fine, I suppose I wasn't clear enough about this yesterday. What I meant was, according to the Academia's policies, all products of research must be destroyed. That's why we can't let the Academia discover that place. Anyway, the first thing I did was repair Karkata. During my time at the Academia, I took an elective course at the Spontama. Who knew it would prove useful one day? We then buried Abatui together. After organizing the research materials, I kept some as a souvenir. Most of it was burned to hide the evidence. I'm not with the Academia, so what do their policies have to do with me?
Exactly.
On the other hand, I am the Forest Watcher of the Avidya Forest. I have a duty to protect all life in the forest. All life brought forth in this world has meaning, and Karkata is no exception. If it exists, then it shouldn't be carelessly abandoned or destroyed.
That's great!
Hey.
Wait, you just said life form. You recognize Karkata as a true living being now?
The possibility exists, is all. It's hard to explain Karkata's efforts to repair Abatui. Abatui only left behind a small portion of his research. Who knows how many commands he installed? Maybe a conflict between all those commands resulted in this sort of behavior. From a more rigorous perspective, it is impossible to conclude that Karkata is a real life form. But the possibility exists. I am willing to believe in that. By the way, I'm not interested in continuing research on this subject. I'm just letting it hang out here because this place is relatively secluded. But as things stand now, it wouldn't be a bad idea to make it my research assistant. At the very least, it can record my experiments. What do you think?
Okay. And there we go.
When people at the Academia included me in a group photo, they would also send me a copy. I have zero interest in group photos, but I also wouldn't just throw them away. I stored them all in a box. After coming back yesterday, I looked through them and found one with Abatui. I gave it to Karkata, and it seemed happy. That's good enough.
Oh, wait a minute. Was I doing the wrong one all this time? The wrong quest? Oh, gee. Man. Well, I mean, we completed another thing. At least. like, yeah, like, the fact that Kakata tried to repair, like, tried to fix, like, Abatui, it just, like, there's something about that just, you know, like, it feels like there's something, there's gotta be something, right? There's just gotta be something. Like, I, like,
I see everything.
I don't know. Lighter foods, less alcohol. Just right there. Wouldn't have walked that way? I mean, oh well, I'm not complaining about an task. Sometimes the doctor just has all those problems. Like, just cannot figure out how to help. Can't help your patients sometimes. Patients just, I don't know. I don't know.
Hey there. I saw you two helping Nilu move some stuff. Are you two also here for the celebration event?
You got it!
My name is Raykar. Nadia and I are this theater's prop engineers. I also help out with some other tasks like housekeeping. The little ones causing a ruckus are my children, Soreen and Abi. I hope they aren't bothering you. They always get really excited every time we hold a celebration event. Yes, they are. Everyone here takes great care of them. There's good work here, the pay's always on time, and Nilu and the others will often volunteer to play with the kids. I'm quite content with this current way of life.
Do you mean your life wasn't nearly as good before?
Come on.
It's all right. It's all water under the bridge now. My husband and I were both adventurers, but he passed away from an accident. Material struggles can always be overcome, but ever since then, I haven't been able to spend much of my energy on anything else. But I still consider myself lucky. Mr. Zubair has helped me a lot, and the atmosphere here is tolerant and kind.
Sorry for bringing up such sad memories.
Oh, it's all right. I don't mind. Once the event starts, you'll be able to see for yourself the kind of atmosphere I was talking about. There's still some time until the event. Feel free to look around.
A minute to memory. Hey there!
Hello.
Ah, a newcomer. Doesn't look too bright.
Hey! Talk about judging a book by its cover!
You, on the other hand, You're a special one. How
Eyes
would you
up here.
describe the concept of art? Mere curiosity is all. It makes no difference whether you answer or not. So that's what you think, Unremarkable. Better than an average person's thoughts, but nothing exceptional.
Wow.
Is art a product that we create and bring forth? Or is it a naturally existing resource? I, for one, believe it to be the latter.
Paimon doesn't follow.
I've been staying here for a long time. On occasion, I'd assist them in penning lines of dialogue, but most of my time I just stand back and watch. I prefer to abstain from writing as it spoils the viewing experience. The existence of the theater, of Nilu, and of humanity itself. All of these can be considered as forms of art. It is not some intangible construct beyond the horizon.
How does that have anything to do with us?
Let me ask you this. What do you think is the meaning of art?
Answer your question.
I suppose that question was a little too difficult for you. To chance upon a spark of inspiration. I have been closely observing you, the players on the stage, and those watching in the audience. Art is already all around us.
Hey?
Grow.
Unparalleled splendor without peer. Maybe even worthy of being considered one of Sumeru's greatest treasure.
Okay, bye.
Hello.
What? Who are you? You can't just go on the stage as you please. Ah, I see. Sorry for my overreaction. I'm just, making a prop. No time for chit-chat.
Is that embroidery?
No. Well, yes, but not really. It's a prop. It's just, some fabric. An ordinary piece of fabric that we use in a show. Sorry. I really do need to focus and start working on it.
What an oddball. Is prop making something to be that jumpy about? Oh well, it's none of our business. Look, Nilu's back!
Sorry. I need to focus.
Let's meet up with her. The event's...
Sorry for the wait. Preparations for the celebration are finally done. I'll call everyone over, and then we can start.
Let us give you a hand.
Thank you.
Maybe we really should have prepared a gift. Then we could also be a part of the exchange. As it is, all we can do is wait and watch.
Maybe we shouldn't do this after all. I didn't do that great of a job. And who would even like it?
Oh, don't think like that. Remember our promise? We're going to give everyone a pleasant surprise. And besides, you've never attended a celebration event before, so this will be a great opportunity. Everyone will love you.
I'm still not really sure about this.
There's nothing to be worried about. Just take a step forward and give yourself a chance. There aren't any scary people here, right?
Right.
Huh. All right. Maybe this will help. Everyone, over here! Ine has something great to tell you all.
Wait! I've already said that I'm not ready yet. What should I say?
Take it easy and relax. Deep breath in and out. Once you've taken a long exhale, calmly tell everyone what you want to say. If you don't say anything, then all the hard work we put into embroidery practice would have gone to waste.
Using it as a gift, though? It really isn't that good.
So when Inaya was talking about making a prop, she was actually preparing a present. Yeah, it feels like she still doesn't really see herself as part of this community. But it looks like Nilu's trying to ease her through.
Actually,
Inaya had prepared a special present for everyone before the celebration kicked off.
Woohoo! We're gonna get our first present from Miss Inaya!
Pipe down! The louder you all are, the more nervous she'll become. You've worked on it for so long, so have some confidence. Don't be afraid.
You've got this.
Is Mr. Zubair here? Sheikh Zubair, this is an urgent notice from the Academia. This celebration, or whatever it is, must stop at once.
What a condescending guy. What's his deal?
Since Zubair Theater has long violated the Academia's policies and orders, we have decided to demolish it. As its manager, you must halt all operations and dismiss all staff members within 30 days, after which you will report to the Academia for further punishment.
Why? Why force us to do this all of a sudden?
Little girl, this is not the first time you've been issued a warning.
I didn't hear anything about demolition the last time I asked, and now I suddenly only have 30 days? We have more shows planned, but it's impossible to do anything in just 30 days. How am I supposed to explain this to my customers and staff?
That issue is of no concern to me, Mr. Zubair. You seem to understand the situation quite clearly. Perhaps you can reflect on the reasons why you have failed to prepare for the scenario in advance.
Demolition? Why do they want to demolish this place?
The Academia has never liked us, and they've never respected our work. To them, what we do is all a waste of time. This isn't the first time they've come by. They had asked us several times in the past to improve the quality of our performances by only putting on shows they consider to be sufficiently intellectual. But our audience isn't the Academia. It's the people of the Grand Bazaar. If our shows are too difficult to understand or too removed from everyday life, nobody would watch them anymore. Changing our content would not only mean turning our backs on our vision, it would also directly lead to the loss of our livelihoods. Yeah, the theater is very important to each and every one of us.
The way they're doing things is so scummy.
Here,
But I also don't know how we can stop them.
I do not wish to explain everything again from the beginning. Time is of the essence, so you should act with haste instead of asking frivolous questions.
But none of us plan to accept this. Such an abrupt notice is contrary to established policy.
Ask whoever you will, the answer will remain the same. We have already given you sufficient notice.
Enough! Does your audacity know no limits, Father?
Oh.
Father?
Oh.
Their family?
Plot thickens. Oof.
What's academia? This is all because you don't like Zubair Theater. You're just using the Academia's name to threaten us. Let me tell you, even if you manage to tear down this place, nothing is going to change. You've always been awful. But even I never thought my father would sink this low.
This is strictly business. It has nothing to do with where you are, what you do, or what you think. I hope you all have not been irrevocably blinded by folly. I will not waste more time on pointless arguments. Wrap everything up, and make preparations to shut down at once.
Why is he always like that?
This is quite the misfortune, but there's nothing we can do. That's it for today, everyone. Let's clean up. I'll go talk to them again tomorrow. The storms that come out of the blue are always the hardest to deal with.
Sorry. I invited you thinking this was going to be a happy occasion. I I didn't know that things would turn out like this.
There's no need to apologize, Nilu. No one could have seen this coming. Oh, Paimon just wishes she could have at least gotten to the food. Is what that guy said true? The Academia has already given you many warnings?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. They've always seen us as being meaningless. Knowledge is king in Sumeru, and their pursuit of it leaves no room for the arts. But if that's all it is, there's also no reason to go so far as to demolish the theater. After Inaya ran away from home, I brought her here to Zubair Theater. She rarely talks about her family. All I know is that she didn't get along with them. I never expected it to blow up like this.
If you did nothing wrong, then there's no reason to listen to the Academia, right?
Nahida? You mean Lesser Lord Kusanali?
Yeah, she loves you.
She'd probably help if she knew what was going on. No matter how nasty the Academia could get, surely they can't win against Lesser Lord Kusanali.
No. I wasn't doubting her ability. I just feel like we shouldn't bother her with such a trivial problem.
Loves your performance.
Plus, if the Dendro Archon were to intervene, then it wouldn't feel like our victory was earned.
That's true. Who cares? Let's just take him in a fight.
That... Apple.
That's true.
I'll try to think of something. We can't just let everyone suffer in a perpetual state of fear and uncertainty. What to do?
Can you pretend to shut down, but secretly continue to hold your shows somewhere else? Or we could go through a list of customers and try to see if anyone in there might be willing to help out. That also doesn't sound like it'll work.
A debate? Huh. Well, scholars do love to use them to solve their problems, but how would that work in this case?
Yeah.
Oh, if we can prove to Inaya's father that the Academia's position doesn't hold water, then they won't have a reason to demolish the theater!
Exactly.
I see. Defeating him in a debate. It's a good idea, but which one of us could hope to win against a researcher? Huh? Me? No. I'm the literal worst at arguments. I can't debate.
Debates aren't hard.
Nilu, you are only so stressed out right now because you care so much about protecting the theater.
This theater holds a special meaning in all of our hearts. It's irreplaceable, but I just don't know. Can I really take on such a huge responsibility?
Paimon will help too. You'll feel a lot more confident after doing some prep work. Believe in yourself.
Thanks, you two. All right, I've decided. Even though I may fail, I'll do my very best for everyone's sake.
That's our Nilu. We're rooting for you.
Okay, let's head back and tell everyone what we came up with.
There we go. There we go. And of course. And yeah. Well. Let's go and let's finish this up. Wrap up this storyline. No, I mean, I'm glad that we were able to wrap up Tighnari's story pretty yes. Even though I kind of didn't, I kind of went out of the way after that. No.
Good morning. Looks like you're awake. Yep.
Being
I prepared some breakfast today. Please have a taste. I hope you'll like it.
It's nice to have you here so we can eat something yummy.
Well, now that I've recovered from Alizar, I'm feeling better than ever. I can even prepare 4 or 5 meals a day now.
Wait, recovered?
Paimon bets they're all delicious.
Recovered?
letter for you after you went to sleep last night.
Nope. Paimon wanted to read the letter with you after you woke up. So Paimon didn't open it. Alright, let's read it now. Oh, it's from Nilu. Ahem. We're going to hold a feast at the Grand Bazaar and celebrate Cyano's reinstatement as the General Mahamatra. As heroes of Sumeru, please be sure to attend. I'll wait for you. The date of the banquet is written on the back. It's in 2 days.
Alright.
Oh, I've also heard that you've become heroes here as well. That's amazing.
You're part.
Sometimes I'm really envious of strong and confident people like you.
You're amazing too, Kale. I mean, seriously, you've been through hell and back, and yet here you are.
Oh, you're embarrassing me.
Anyway, let's go to the Grand Bazaar to have a look.
Oh, before you leave, be sure to inform Master Tainari. Everything has been getting better lately, and my mood has been improving as well. You can come find me anytime if you need anything. You're welcome. I was just doing my duty. Remember to talk to Master Tainari before you leave.
Oh.
Tainari!
Hello.
Good morning. How do you feel today?
We feel much better. How about you?
I'm recovering well. Thanks for asking.
But from the looks of it, you seem to be already busy with work again.
It's fine. I'm not that busy, really. The Elazar patients have recovered, as well as Hypatia. For now, I only need to tend to my Forest Watcher duties.
It seems once Irminsul started getting better, everything else started to recover too.
Yes, but there are still some residual effects. The withering is one example. Though it won't spread anymore, the existing zones won't just disappear. We forest rangers will still need to do the work.
I appreciate it.
By the way, we have some good news. Cyno got his position back.
This news is hardly new. He had already mentioned it to me before.
Huh? You mean he was already here? Why didn't he come to say hi to us?
Rude.
He visited once, but he was afraid of disturbing you while you were resting. He just asked me a few questions and left.
Then you probably already know all about the celebration feast.
Celebration feast? No, I haven't heard anything about that.
Huh? But didn't Nilu say in her letter that they would celebrate Cyno? He didn't tell you?
Perhaps, or alternatively, he doesn't know about it either.
Come to think of it, Cyno doesn't seem like the type who'd enjoy a celebration feast. You and Kale are both Cyno's close friends. Why don't you come to the feast with us?
Kala has taken over some of my tasks these days. I don't think she'll have time for it. Not to mention me.
But come on.
You see, some VIPs have come to the forest recently.
Huh? VIPs? Very important Paimons?
Well, technically speaking, they are former VIPs. The sages involved in recent incidents have begun their training in the Avidya forest, and the people they had previously imprisoned have all been released.
Huh?
That's all right?
Yes, he's a little weak, but he isn't injured and his condition is stable. Lesser Lord Kusanali, in her boundless mercy, has decided to spare Azar and the other wrongdoers. Supposedly, they were ashamed of their shallow ideologies and have decided to dedicate the rest of their lives to cultivating wisdom in the Avidya forest. When they learned that Lesser Lord Kusanali had defeated the Balladeer and saved Irminsul, they were shocked at first, but also became happy, feeling that the sacred light guiding them on the path of discovering wisdom had begun to shine once again. As a result, work has increased for the forest rangers.
That sounds really exhausting.
There's nothing we can do, really. But that's another topic. Back to the matter at hand. Are you two planning to head out?
Ah, right! We're here to request permission to head out. Would that be okay?
You've recovered well. You may go, but be careful.
Yay! Will do!
Alright.
Is there anything else you'd like to ask about? Ah, yes. Thanks for remembering her. She continued her training in the forest after she recovered. As a scholar, she never slacks off. A lot has happened lately. Kale and I have been busy. But don't worry, we'll take care of ourselves. As for Cyno's reinstatement, the more I think about it, the more I suspect that he just doesn't have a single clue about this feast. But this does remind me that Kale and I should find an opportunity to celebrate him as well. He has helped me a lot during this time, and you as well. Thank you. Take care. Please, find me if you need anything.
For the next interview, I think
Like I said, hard to see. Words are hard. Hey. Oh, wow.
Well, there won't be any problems if the feast starts at that time. Everything has already been prepared.
Mr. Zubair, I finished tallying things up here. Well, except for the guests.
Is a simple reply really that much to ask of our guests? It's affecting our arrangements.
Oh, it'll be fine. Besides, it never hurts to get things ready in advance.
I was thinking the same thing. The feast will be held sooner or later, right?
Hey, Nilu!
Hello.
Traveler, Paimon!
We got your letters, so here we are!
You're the best! The other guests haven't even replied yet.
Huh? Are we the only ones that have arrived?
Yeah, I had someone deliver letters to all of our guests. But maybe everyone is still busy with other things.
Look, I get it. Sumeru is in an extremely important period of transition right now, but even if your friends are important figures, they shouldn't just ignore your request like this. Nilu is Sumeru's #1 celebrity after all. You have no idea how happy I am to talk to people with good taste.
If you consider enjoying Nilu's dances having good taste, then almost everybody has good taste, because Paimon thinks everybody will love her performance.
That's right. We all think she's amazing too. Nilu is an absolute favorite among those of us who frequent the Grand Bazaar. For Outlanders, you have a great eye. Master Zubair, let's have a vote for the most outstanding audience members next time. I think these two may win.
Nonsense! It is not for us to determine the value of an audience. But indeed, we could try giving gifts to people with particularly good taste. I heard there's a device in Fontaine called a camera that can record people's appearances as pictures. Such pictures would make superb gifts.
Ooh, good idea. I wonder where we can find one.
I have one.
I don't want you giving pictures of me to everyone. I'm satisfied just being able to perform here.
There's always a lot going on at the Grand Bazaar.
Yeah, and that's why I love it here. Traveler and Paimon, could you help confirm if the letters were actually delivered? If for some reason they didn't receive the letters, then please tell everyone that there will be a feast here.
Yeah, we can also check out how everything in Sumeru is going now.
Wherever it is?
When I wrote the letters, I heard that Dia was in Port Ormos, and Alhaitham was at the Academia. As for Sino, we've only heard that he appears at the Academia from time to time. I'm not too sure about Rahman's whereabouts. My guess is that he's with Dia. As for Dunyarzad, I just hope she's feeling better. I sent her a letter, but I was afraid of disturbing her. If you have time, please ask about her for me.
Okay, got it. Let's go, Traveler.
I'll go to the Adventurers Guild later and ask Miss Catherine if she knows how to get one of those cameras.
Yes, please do. I'm sure the audience would be thrilled at the chance of receiving commemorative gifts. It could be our special surprise that we prepare for everyone.
I think it's an amazing idea. Who knows? If we take more pictures, they might even become the signature souvenir of the Grand Bazaar.
And Nilu will become even more famous. Ha! It won't be long till people are fighting for front row at your performances.
I've heard that this camera is not just something anyone can use as they please. It must be aimed properly, and subjects should pose for the best results.
Oh, should we get ready then? Perhaps we should wear something a little more appropriate.
No. I think we look absolutely fine. If anything, when we pose for this, clever invention, we should just be ourselves,
You really think so?
Okay. Well, guess we're going to be. Let's go to the academia and ask about Al-Haytham. Door opens.
We haven't seen Al-Haytham anywhere. Let's ask that person over there.
Hey, you random person.
Hey there, have you seen Al-Haytham around?
Yes, it seems Scribe Al-Haytham has gone to the House of Dana. You should be able to find him there.
Oh, thank
But
you.
you're already the second group of people I've seen looking for him today. He must be quite the busy man.
Oh? Who else was looking for him?
Mr. Cave was just here asking about him.
Oh.
You wouldn't believe how terrible their relationship is. And now you two are here. Don't tell me everyone's here looking for gossip about the sages.
Oh.
No way. We're strictly here on business.
Ah, I see. Sorry, I thought maybe everyone's as interested in rumors about the sages as I am.
Uh-huh. A tabloid. Lovely. Okay, so Dana.
Al-Haytham should be around here somewhere, right?
Oh.
Oh, he's over there! But it looks like he might not have time for us.
Just put down that worthless book and tell me what happened in the academia.
This is not just some worthless book. Do you have any idea how difficult it is to find a physical book like this in Sumeru?
It doesn't matter. It's probably just another thing that you used your authority to get your hands on anyway. Just put it aside. Listen, I came back today only to hear that the sages have disappeared.
Oh, you sound surprised. I thought you would already know the inside story.
Would I be here asking you if I knew? You're the scribe, not me. So just tell me what you know already.
Well, I almost became a sage.
Huh?
Oh, don't sound too surprised now. You're the renowned Kaveh, light of the Ksharawar. Besides, as a master builder and craftsman, chances are you'll be appointed as a sage too.
Why do I feel like you don't really mean it?
Huh. What makes you say that? Why would you question my heartfelt sincerity?
Maybe it's because you've never said anything good about me before.
Yeah, well, I share a similar sentiment, and anyone who knows you as well as I do would surely do the same.
Oh, you... See? This is why I hate discussing anything with you. Your ridiculous and arrogant attitude always gets in the way.
It seems that you really can't stand my personality.
Ha! What was your first clue?
Well, then you might as well move out of my house.
Are you threatening me? Stooping to a new low, I see. Ugh, and don't change the subject. You, a sage? What a joke. The academia might as well just close tomorrow.
Are they having a fight?
Let's just see other place. We're not in a rush.
Forget what's going on with the academia. Haven't you been busy with your construction project? Tell me, when are you going to build yourself a mansion?
Don't get me started. I get angry just thinking about it.
So, what great building did our master architect work on this time?
Like I need to tell you. Keep your nose out of my business.
Is that a dendro vision?
No, I think we deserve to know. Where were you when Sumeru needed you most?
I was in the desert for a large project, but considering Haravatat's utter ignorance of architectural and aesthetic matters, you probably wouldn't understand. Which is truly unfortunate. I can only pity the man who doesn't understand the first thing about beauty and romance. Unlike a true... hold on, wait a second. What do you mean by when Sumeru needed me most?
Well, while you were out fiddling around in the desert, many people came together to save Sumeru from a crisis.
Ha! And you think I'd believe that?
Look, all you really need to know is that Azar and all his accomplices have all been overthrown.
Huh? What nonsense are you talking about?
It's no skin off my nose if you don't
Yes,
believe
that's
me.
Central Vision.
It's not like my Darshan was the one trying to apply for funding from the Grand Sage. Yours, though, on the other hand...
You know what? I'll ask around. I'm sure someone knows what's going on here. You're dead if I find out you're lying to me.
I feel like we just walked into something really, really spicy.
Hey, Alhaitham!
Hello.
Oh, it's you two. What's the matter?
We're running some errands for Nilu. Have you received her letter?
Letter?
Nilu said she sent out a letter inviting everyone to a celebration feast in 2 days at the Grand Bazaar. We'll also be celebrating Zaino's reinstatement as General Mahamatra.
If she addressed the letter to Alhaitham of the Academia, then the letter should have gone to my office. I've been busy these days, so I haven't had time to check for any new mail at my office. I only now have some free time to attend to personal matters.
Have you always been so busy with your work?
Of course not. I'm only busy these days because several sages have been dismissed recently and the whole Academia was practically turned upside down.
Tainari told us they all went to train in the Avidia Forest. Apparently they will spend the rest of their lives there.
That is already the best possible ending for the likes of them.
Yep.
4 of the 6 great sages were possessed by their desire for power and attempted to create a new god. In order to pull it off, they even imprisoned the other 2 rational sages. To imagine such things could take place in the Academia. I don't know where to begin.
Yeah, you're right. Huh. Feels kind of strange to hear them called that after all this time. But then again, the 6 great schools sounded pretty impressive too.
Yes, at least that's how they're supposed to sound. It's said that when the Academia was first founded, the Dendro Archon herself established the 6 great schools, each representing one of the 6 different types of wisdom. Numerous Darshans have sprung up and faded. Only the 6 Darshans, attaching themselves to the 6 great schools, have stood the test of time and obtained permanent seats in the Academia. Now, the 6 Darshans are nearly synonymous with the 6 great schools, and the leaders selected for the schools are the 6 great sages. Among the 6 great sages, there is one central leader, the Grand Sage. Unfortunately, only the sages from Vahumana and Amorta remain now. They were imprisoned for opposing Azar, and were only rescued after Azar's downfall.
So who's managing things in the other 4 schools now? Do they need to find someone new?
Yes. Normally, new sages are selected based on a strict set of criteria.
Oh, didn't you just say something about becoming a sage? If they pick you, then we'd have a huge connection in Sumeru.
I'm at the point.
Yes, about that. You didn't let me finish my sentence. The person in charge of personnel affairs nominated me to be the Grand Sage in place of Azar and help Lesser Lord Kusanali manage the Academia. But I refused.
What?
Huh? But why? Can't you be a little more ambitious?
I'm not even interested in being one of the 6 great sages. Like I said before, I don't like being a leader.
And
oh, all right. So are you busy these days trying to find others to take the job?
That's not my job either. I'm only responsible for handling important affairs within the Academia before the new sages take office. And the first thing I'll do is reject Kasharawar's application for funding.
By the way, who was that other person just now? Is he your friend?
Do we look like friends?
I think you're in. Sounded like you were brothers.
Paimon doesn't know. That's why Paimon's asking.
His name is Kaveh, my roommate. You could say he's the representative for Ksharwar scholars.
Didn't seem to believe a word you told
Which
him.
is exactly why he always has so many problems.
So everything that's happened recently must be a huge change for the people of Sumeru.
Thanks for your hard work.
Such is the work of the Academia Scribe.
Well, anyway, no matter how busy you are, since you are our planner, remember to attend the celebration feast in 2 days.
Alright, I'll see you there.
Laters.
The House of Dana is the last quiet place in the whole Academia now. I was originally planning to stay here a little longer, but there's a chance that Kaveh might show up again. Tuh, what a nuisance. I'd better go somewhere else.
Oh well. Alright, Port Ormos.
This is Port Ormos. Now where could you...
Is that Paimon I hear?
Is that?
It's been a while. How are you doing?
Hey!
It's been so long since we've seen you!
Hey! How have you been?
I'm doing well. I can go as far as saying I have never been happier in my entire life.
Great!
I don't know if you've heard, but Elazar has completely disappeared, and all the patients have recovered.
You kidding? Knowing them and the connections they've got, I'm sure they've heard about it.
Hey!
That's right. My lady is feeling better now, so I'm accompanying her for a walk.
Why do you still call me that, Thea? You've already informed my father of your resignation.
I guess I'm just used to calling you my lady. Old habits die hard.
Resignation? You mean you're quitting?
Yeah, I might start losing my edge if I keep being a bodyguard for the Homayanis.
You know that my parents and I are fond of you, and that we appreciate you very much. It wouldn't be a problem if you wish to continue to be our bodyguard.
I'm not a woman that's easily persuaded. You should know that by now, my lady. When I took this job, I had already decided that I'd quit as soon as you'd recovered. It's time for me to get back out there and chase that horizon.
So what are you gonna do now if you're not gonna be a bodyguard anymore?
I want to take a risky job and put my body to the test again.
Huh?
Oh.
But we literally just finished one of the most dangerous jobs ever. Are you getting bored already?
I know. If I hadn't joined in that plan with you, I wouldn't have come up with this idea. I guess I still get fired up by that feeling of going all out in a fight. It made me realize that I'm still a mercenary through and through.
You almost like your arm.
Life is short, and I'm happy that I got to be a part of that operation. But the whole thing also made me realize that there are still many problems in Sumeru. And as a desert dweller, I'm still not completely ready to settle down on this side of the wall.
Well, I remember a friend had someone bring you a message.
You mean I'll hate them? I didn't expect him to still remember that. I thought he was joking.
We just came from talking with Alhaitham at the Academia.
Yeah.
Did he tell you that he suggested that I come work at the Academia?
What?
Didn't hear anything about
I
that.
heard that Azar and his cronies fell from power.
Yep.
And Alhaitham told me that now was a good time to find a job in the Academia. But only if I wanted to.
Whoa. Paimon can't see you being anything other than a mercenary.
I mean, it might be a nice...
Me neither. But I think Dia would look great dressed up as a scholar.
Yeah?
Ugh, forget about it. I wouldn't last 10 seconds in there. Alhaitham probably just liked the way I worked and knew I'm good in a fight. So he suggested I find some work in the Academia.
But you know, if you take him up on the offer, actually agree and let you become a Matra, because you're super amazing.
Yeah.
The Matra have all the talent they need as long as they have Sino. I prefer to be free to live however I choose. In fact, I chose this job from the very start because I knew it'd be right up my alley.
Even if being a mercenary means facing all kinds of danger.
A lion has to return to the wild sooner or later. If anything, being your bodyguard has been unfamiliar territory for me.
I don't want to see you go, but I'll respect your decision.
I'm glad to hear you say that. Come on, no need for the sad face. It's not like we'll never meet again.
Guess being free is part of how to
Once the whole Dendro Archon thing is settled, everything in Sumeru will take a turn for the better. That makes me happy too. But a peaceful society will probably mean less demand for mercenaries like me. Before long, we'll be a dying breed. So I'd better get to work while I still can.
Huh? But wait a second. You make it sound like you're leaving now.
I mean, you could journey with
no,
us.
not yet at least. I promised my lady I'd stick around until next week.
So, have you been in Port Ormos this entire time? We were wondering if you had received a letter from Nilu.
Oh, did Nilu write to us?
Yeah.
She heard that you were seen in Port Ormos, so she sent the letter here.
Huh. It was probably sent to the inn that we're staying at. My lady has been very energetic lately and keeps taking me on hikes, staying out even into the night. By the time we get back, the receptionist is usually off napping on the job.
Right, and we tend to leave quite early in the morning, so the old man on duty is also usually dozing off.
So what it really sounds like is that the person on duty is always asleep.
I bet the letter's at the reception desk. I'll go check later.
No wonder there wasn't a reply. You never received the letter. Good thing Nilu asked us to come and check on that.
Sorry to make you two come all the way out here.
Fine, we have
It
teleport
must be
spots.
something important for Nilu to specifically write to us like that.
Yes, she said they were preparing a victory feast in the Grand Bazaar, and will also be celebrating Sino's reinstatement as General Mahamatra. She was hoping you could come.
Great! I'll be sure to attend.
Count me in too. But is there some sort of dress code or anything for the feast? Can I just show up looking like this?
You look fine.
Since it's being organized by Nilu, I don't think she'll be too picky about that. If anything, I think she wants to see us as our most natural selves.
Yep.
All right, then this is how I'll show up.
The feast will be held in 2 days, so don't forget.
Sure.
Thank you so much for letting us know. We'll see you there.
Oh, by the way, do you happen to know where Sino and Raman are?
The General Mahamatra always comes and goes without a trace.
Yep.
Normally no one knows his whereabouts.
Oh.
But last time we met, he mentioned that he had something to do in Aru Village. You can try your luck there. As for Raman, your guess is as good as mine. I only remember he said that he had something to discuss with Sino. You can ask Sino when you meet him. Don't mention it. You better get going.
All right, on to our next stop.
Righto.
After recovering from Elazar, everything seems so different to me. When I look at the scenery I've visited before, it has a completely different feeling.
I can't imagine.
You need to be stronger than an ox to take life by the horns.
I think I've heard you say something like that before. But today, I finally understand what you mean.
Is there any place you'd like to go? I can accompany you. I've got time.
What if I tell you that I want to go to the desert?
Fine by me. If we go to the desert, I can introduce you to my friends there. But we should prepare and get everything we need before setting off.
Let's go! I'll go pack my luggage now. After we're done with the feast in 2 days, we can go have fun in the desert.
You can count me in.
Oh, man. Oh. Love it.
If you want to eat like a...
Alright, well. No one else know that we use teleporters? No one else use teleports? Oh. Back. They're Mr. Enthusiastic. Very true. Ah, nice. Over here. Is that? Hey, there you are.
It's been a while since we last visited Aru Village.
Indeed.
Ah, there's Sino!
Hey! Finally found you.
What brings you here?
We recovered well, and Tanari agreed to let us leave, so now we're out and about again.
It seems Gandharvaville's medical treatment is still as good as ever.
Mm-hmm. And Tanari is recovering well, too.
That's good to hear.
Thank you for taking
Yeah, you're the one who brought us to him when we lost consciousness, right? Thanks for that.
You're welcome. Tainari has excellent medical skills, and Kale is quite attentive. It was the best place for you.
But why are you just standing here like a dead tree?
I'm meeting some people.
Oh, you mean Candace?
I've already talked with Candace and the village chief. They're still at the usual place. You can go there if you'd like to see them, but you know one of the people I'm meeting as well.
Oh, by King Deshret's blessing, my friend suddenly appears in the desert. Don't tell me you've run into trouble and need us to help now.
Roman! And... huh?
Aria.
Sataria?
Oh, you know me?
Oh,
well, yeah, I mean...
You're pretty famous in the academia.
Yeah.
Don't worry, these are our friends. No need to be so guarded.
I see.
I'm doing well. Many good things have happened recently.
Same here. Really, I feel that my whole life has started to shine after suddenly finding a new direction.
Oh, tell us everything.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Alright, well, I suppose I should start by saying I've decided to leave the academia.
Really?
What?
Not gonna be a scholar?
It's not that I've given up on being a scholar. Instead, you could say I've found a new identity. I will no longer pursue research like a typical scholar, but I have not completely given up on my relationship to knowledge either.
I can see what you're saying now.
What do you mean?
I plan to leave the academia and return to teach here in the desert.
Oh!
Wow, so you want to become a teacher?
Sataria will return to support education here and teach people from the desert.
Wow.
She can't teach everyone on her own, but there are many of us Eremites all over Sumeru. She came to discuss a collaboration with me and hoped that I could bring her ideas to the Eremites.
Yes, it's my hope that the Eremites can help me select a group of smart people with the best aptitude for teaching. I'll teach them, and after they've finished learning from me, they can go educate more people. That is the true meaning of education and the spreading of knowledge.
The people of King Deshret suffer from sandstorms, exile, and ignorance. Miss Ataria is more than welcome to come teach here. Her arrival is like a star shining in the desert night. The stars have always guided caravans, thieves, soldiers, and travelers who get lost in the night. They lead those in the dark out of trouble and back to safety.
Oh, please. Where's all of this coming from? I'm starting to feel a little embarrassed.
You deserve these compliments. Mercenaries are accustomed to danger and don't fear death, which is why we recognize extraordinary actions that common people would easily overlook.
Sataria's idea will bring much good to many people.
At first, I feared it was destined to fail. Everyone knows that the academia doesn't allow scholars to teach in the desert without permission. As you know, all knowledge is under their surveillance and control, and very few desert dwellers are as lucky as me. But what I heard at that time has been haunting my heart, as if there were lightning bolts constantly bombarding my soul.
Oh, you mean...
Sataria, you tread a treacherous path, and the longer you ignore it, the tighter the academia's grasp on you will become. Sataria, why haven't you gone home?
Never forget that the desert that belongs to you lies elsewhere.
That might be our fault.
Miss.
That might
These
be our
words
fault.
sparked something in me, and I knew that I had to bring something back to my people after going home. I gathered up the courage to approach the Grand Sage, only to find that he was no longer at the Academia. Lord Sino told me that Azar didn't belong there anymore.
Yep.
Azar has received much needed punishment.
Yeah.
Though, if you ask me, it may have been too light. You probably have already heard.
I think death would have been too kind.
Lord Sino helped me obtain permission to leave the Academia for the desert, and accompanied me here to discuss collaboration with members of the Eremites. My plan was able to go smoothly thanks to him and Rahman.
You're all doing so much for the desert.
Aside from that, I also have some other business to discuss with Sino.
Lesser Lord Kusanali has allocated many resources to support and develop the desert. I've done some business for her, and part of it required the assistance of the Eremites. I applied for a few batches of educational materials from the Academia, and sent them to several groups in the desert, as instructed by Lesser Lord Kusanali. I believe the people will make good use of them.
That's exactly what the people here need. Physical books and other related items. If it weren't for Sino and Lesser Lord Kusanali, I'm afraid we'd never be able to get our hands on them.
Apart from this, the Academia is also recruiting scholars that are willing to teach in the desert. I'll let you and Satarian know as soon as I have any more news. We must be persistent about this, and maintain these resources to ensure long-term effectiveness.
This is the first time in hundreds of years we've had a glimmer of hope. I think this may be the turning point for the desert. Remember these words. Here lies our faithful priest, Kasala. His wisdom is a miracle among the people, deserving of high praise and admiration. I hope people with wisdom like that priest will rise again among the desert dwellers. Then we'll once again see the wisdom and glory that once shook the world.
Enough about us. Are you here to discuss some business too?
Well...
No, not at all. We're actually here on behalf of Nilu.
Yeah.
Nilu wanted to write to everyone, but she wasn't sure where the letters should be sent, so she asked us to come find everyone personally.
Yeah.
A celebration feast will be held in 2 days at the Grand Bazaar. She hopes that all of you will be able to attend.
Yeah.
At the feast, we'll also be celebrating Sino's reinstatement as General Mahamatra. Although, judging from your appearance, it seems you've already been reinstated. Paimon thought you would only start working for the Academia after the feast.
Celebration? Feast?
Oh, so you really didn't know?
It's the first I've heard of it.
Tainari was right. He really didn't know.
Oh.
This feast is for you, Sino. Sounds to me like you'll have to be there.
Yeah. Come on.
It's rare to see that kind of expression from Lord Sino. You must not like feasts very much.
No, not really. But I'll go.
The two of you are invited as well.
Well, I still have a lot to handle here. Besides, I need to look after Miss Sataria in the desert, so I'll have to pass.
All right.
I'm afraid I won't be able to join you. Although, if you'd be so kind, please give a message to Miss Nilu for me. The message is, I'm sorry for how I treated you before, but now I understand the beauty of your dance. It's like a light shining in the sky. You and the art you symbolize are not only beautiful, but also lively and powerful, so much so that it was prohibited. Please keep dancing, and someday I'll be able to appreciate your art in person.
Okay, we've got all that down.
Here to give that message to me.
Our job here is complete as well. Oh, Sino, remember, party's in 2 days. Make sure you're there.
Yep, get
Got
started.
it.
Hey, better get started walking. All right. Well. Oh, I think I forgot to talk to them. Whoops.
Today's the big day! Let's go to the Grand Bazaar and see how the celebration's coming along.
Righto. Alrighty then. Grand Bazaar, here we come. Yeah, if only everyone could use these teleporters, then traffic would become more congested, probably. Or simplified. Ah, oh. There we go. Righty then. Hey, everyone's here.
Everybody's already here. Looks like we're the last ones to arrive.
We were first to
I'm
arrive, now we're
here.
last. Hi.
Ah, there you are.
Evening.
Well, look who finally decided to show up.
Well,
You look like you came here immediately after finishing up some work. I'm very happy to see you here.
But we're not late, are we? It's just that everyone else arrived ahead of time.
I propose that the last one who arrived be put in charge of today's speeches.
Wait, what?
Nah, there won't be any speeches today.
What?
Oh, really? Well, even better.
Come join us over here. Let's share some great food and drinks, and chat about all sorts of fun things.
Alright.
Everything looks quite good.
Wow. Paimon can't wait! Traveler, just look at all the delicious food here.
Typical Paimon. For all that. Separate stomach for everything.
Whoa. It's so delicious! Oh, this grilled meat tastes amazing!
The food was specially prepared for you by everyone in the Grand Bazaar. And we have gifts that were sent by the residents of Sumeru City when they heard we were holding a feast. Everyone that came said that you saved Sumeru and wanted me to thank you all on their behalf.
Feels kind of nice to be seen as a hero. I could get used to this.
Being a bodyguard is also a hero's job. You've always been amazing, Dia.
My lady sure has a way with words. Thanks. I'm glad to hear it.
And I'm happy to meet everyone that participated in the great plan.
Don't mention it.
Come to think of it, we've really done something impressive together. It's unbelievable.
We've saved 4
We owe it to our abilities.
countries.
And luck.
Really?
Yeah.
Why do I remember everybody thinking that luck was against us and feeling like we hardly had a chance of succeeding?
That's how I remember it too.
It's luck that brought us together, and it was luck that let us form a team. Then, it took even more luck for us to formulate a plan and implement it successfully.
So says the scholar.
Moreover, judging from the results, everything worked out well.
Yeah, everyone gave it their all when it mattered most. It was almost like a performance. We took the stage and put on our best show. Everyone played their part, and thanks to everyone's efforts, the performance was a great success.
So, would you say we're good actors too?
There's more talent under our belt.
It's such a blessing
One
that
more
Lesser Lord Kusanali was able to return to power at the Academia.
Yes, even after being abandoned and neglected so many times, she's finally returned.
Abandoned?
Uh-huh. Lesser Lord Kusanali once used all her power in a great disaster, which resulted in her losing all her wisdom and memories of the past.
Oh.
The Academia basically abandoned her because of it.
Oh, they...
This should be something everybody should remember. Huh? You look surprised. I didn't say anything wrong, did I?
No, everything you said is correct.
I forgot about
That's good.
Something wrong?
Yeah, what's with that face? You knew all of this already.
Even if those two giants of the academia are here, I still have to say it. Those sages really have some nerve. 500 years ago, Lesser Lord Kusanali used all her power for the people of Sumeru. And what did they do in return?
Also, God. Interesting that she's still called Lesser Lord. That's what it is a vector.
If you bite the hand that feeds you, don't act surprised when it turns into a knuckle sandwich, right, Sino?
Perhaps I shouldn't say this, but their treatment of Lesser Lord Kusanali calls for a more severe punishment.
You could simply tell Lesser Lord Kusanali that you wish to have Azar and his accomplices severely punished.
I respect our deity's decision, and won't interfere in any way. While we're on this topic, why didn't you accept the Academia's invitation to become the Grand Sage?
Are you trying to say that I'm fit to be a sage?
Not at all. But every person handling the selection process has said that you are the most suitable candidate to lead the Academia right now.
That sounds dangerous.
Why? Because he dethroned Azar from power?
Could you try to put it another way? This is a good thing, yet you're making it sound like I overthrew Azar for my own personal gain.
Why not both?
But seriously, though, I always wondered if you had some personal motives behind it.
I did have my own motive, but it had nothing to do with being a sage. If the rules of our nation were suddenly cast by the wayside, then it wouldn't be long until chaos ensued. I had no intention of letting their dreams disrupt my life.
By that, you mean your life working as the Academia's scribe.
Precisely.
Wait, is that all?
So, that's the only reason why you joined us and came up with all those plans?
You just wanted to keep your job.
It's reason enough.
You've certainly got quite the personality.
Oh,
you flatter me.
All right then. How about you? You've already resumed work as the General Mahamatra, right?
That's right.
Will you be happy with that life?
It's not about being happy. There are merely a lot of things that I must do.
But can't you
Even
do it
so,
and be happy?
Keep your spirits up and try to be happy, okay? And try to smile more every day. Just like I'm doing now.
Thank you. I'll keep that in mind.
A smile wouldn't hurt, I know. Alright.
Ah, there you are, traveler.
Hey.
Well, how is it? Are you enjoying the feast today? If there's anything you're unhappy with, just let me know.
Hey,
I'll be...
invite me.
That's good. It's the first time I've ever invited so many exceptional people to one place. I was a little nervous myself.
You're exceptional
You see,
too.
every guest here is quite extraordinary. It's unbelievable that we've got everyone together here. Almost like a fairy tale.
You including
Make
yourself?
sure you live it up tonight. I'll be happy as long as you're enjoying yourselves.
I have a message to tell you.
I'm honored to have her think of me this way. If I have a chance in the future, I would really like to invite her to one of my performances.
I think she'd love that.
I can't explain why, but I just feel elated right now. Thank you.
Problem. I mean, it makes sense. Like, Nilo is a medium, like, does use the female, like the medium female like models. So most characters like that will have the same height. Like, Okami. But Chang.
The atmosphere here is good. And everything is delicious. Yeah, I don't often come to such places. But it feels quite good. I have a lot to handle these days. Otherwise, I could show you around.
It's alright, don't worry about it.
There's always next time. We're friends after all. This feast is pretty good. I like it.
Play some Genius Invocation.
The atmosphere here is good.
Oh, okay.
I don't often have a lot to handle these days.
And I hope, like, I would love to see like a Genius Invocation event where everyone who plays finally gets to be like, can you just imagine Ito and Saito playing against each other? That just makes me giggle.
I seldom participate in such lively gatherings, but the atmosphere here is quite good.
I thought you might find it boring.
No. This gathering today has a unique meaning. The Grand Bazaar is lively because the people here feel happiness from the bottom of their hearts. Unlike the farces at the Academia, that happiness is an emotion that'll be forever alien to those bookworms who have driven themselves insane by studying. I seem to have taken both keys when I left the house. Oh well.
Oh, wait. Oh, wait a minute. Now you're now Common can't get back in! Whoops.
My lady, the grilled meat over there is delicious. Have you tried it?
Yes, I also tried some fruit just now. Oh, they're very sweet. What an amazing place to relax. No wonder everybody likes to rest at the Grand Bazaar.
You said it. Oh, look who else is here.
Hey.
Hello. Oh, I'm so happy Nilou invited everybody. Oh, now I have the chance to meet all the heroes.
Pleasure. I'm glad we could come.
Hey, less of that polite chit-chat and more eating and drinking.
All
the
right.
feast is about having fun, not stuffy formalities.
I am 500 years old, so I could finally legally drink, right? Right?
Hey, what's wrong? Your head is starting to droop.
Huh? Oh,
Hey, you can't just fall asleep here. Paimon will go find something delicious for you to eat. You'll wake up once you've put something yummy in your tummy.
Really?
Of course. Just wait here for Paimon.
feels like wish Ida was with him. The last night. Oh. There. Huh? Huh?
It's me.
Hey, there you are. Ida, looks like my consciousness is connected to yours again.
You may blame me for being a bit too self-indulgent. I was thinking about talking with you, and the next thing I knew, I had made a connection with you.
Ah.
The connection between us is amazing. It's like flora and the fence it grows upon.
Am I the fence? Or are you the fence that I'm growing on? Anything you need from me?
I heard there's an amazing celebration feast today at the Grand Bazaar. I wanted to have a look for myself, so I snuck in.
Well, why didn't you come here in person? I mean, you could come here, you know?
Lately, I've been so busy dealing with all the fallout from recent events, so I really haven't had any free time.
Can't you just sneak out? Come on.
Although you've already helped me with a lot, there's still one more thing I hope you can help me with. Please say thank you to everyone for me.
That's what it's all about. It'd be better if you could do that yourself.
Oh, is it not convenient for you to do that for me?
No, it would just more meaningful if you do it yourself. Some things in this world must be done by yourself.
But if I just show up all of a sudden, people will become all quiet and stiff, won't they?
Oh, they would love. I'm sure they would be honored.
What if I end up scaring them and ruining this wonderful feast? That'd be the last thing I want.
Would never. Fine, please don't worry too much.
Let me think about it.
Fine.
Okay.
Made up your mind?
Yes, I have.
Come on. That's good. Wait, huh?
You said I should go thank everyone as myself, right? So...
Oh, frick!
I've decided to borrow your body for the time being. Please don't blame me. The flora also climbs up to the fence to get closer to the sky.
Are you kidding me? Ah! And at least promise you won't say anything weird when you're in my body. Ah! Oh no, this is gonna be weird. I love it.
Everyone!
Hey! Yeah, like, oh.
Are you awake now? Paimon was just about to bring you the food.
It's me.
Huh? That voice. Nahida?
Hold up. What's going on?
I didn't expect to have a conversation with the consciousness of Lesser Lord Kusanali in the Grand Bazaar. Interesting. Is this also a part of the feast?
No, of course not. Are you Lesser Lord Kusanali?
Hello, Nilu.
You know who I am?
Yeah? She's like your biggest fan.
Yes. I already know every one of you. Nilu, Alhaitham, Sino, Dia, Paimon, and Dunyarzad.
Lesser Lord Kusanali?
And
I took the liberty of occupying the traveler's body so that I could thank all of you in person.
Huh?
Thank you so much for rescuing me, even if that meant placing your own safety in peril and taking the risk of becoming enemies with the academia, the sages, the doctor, the balladeer, and even the entirety of Sumeru. Without you, without any of you, I would have been in a much more difficult situation. Had you not helped me to resolve the crisis, not only I, but Sumeru and even the entirety of Tevat would have suffered great misfortune. People refer to you as the heroes who managed to rescue a god. I'm quite fond of this name. It not only explains your identities, but also bears witness to your relationship with me. Please, allow me to present to you my most sincere gratitude.
Lesser Lord Kusanali, you have done so much for Sumeru, and I didn't even have a chance to do anything for you. You don't have to do this.
Dunyarzad, the suffering you endured during your illness is also proof of you being with me and praying for me. Thank you.
You don't need to be so ceremonious. It's always been my duty to protect you.
This is how the relationship between the Academia and Dendro Archon should be. We just did what was necessary and set things back on the right path.
You're an Archon, but you act so humble. You really don't need to be so polite with us.
Yeah.
I'm honored to have been able to take part in this plan. I hoped you liked the dance I dedicated to you.
Thank you, all of you. Thank you so much.
Oh, I'm back. See, just like I said, everyone's having to meet you.
Yeah.
Next time, show up in person and not take my body! Next day.
Are you awake? Did you rest well?
I think I slept alright.
After Nahida left, you ate a lot of food. You've become a glutton.
Nothing compared to Paimon.
That just means you still have a lot to learn from Master Paimon, the Sage of Gluttony.
Is that something to be proud of?
Alright, since you're awake now, should we go and have a chat with Nahida?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we should.
She should be in the academia right about now.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, now's your chance to ask.
Right. Yeah. Like, we've been so wrapped up in everything that's happened. We get a chance. We haven't even gotten a chance to talk to her about, or ask her about, well, everything. About. So, I mean, it's likely she's not. Likely she hasn't, like, she doesn't know anything about her, but still, it'll be good to at least see her before we head off for our next destination. Or wait another year before we can go to Fontaine. Hey! Oh, you're still hanging around here?
Nahida!
Hey.
Hello, Traveler and Paimon.
Hey.
What a fantastic night! I'm still immersed in all the happiness and joy, like a candle floating on water.
So are we, and that's why we're here to talk with you.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to know?
Of course. There's always things we want to know. Alright. Let's get some review. About the Akasha.
After recent events, the Akasha can no longer function as it used to.
Right.
I've given it some thought, and have decided to shut it down permanently. But this is definitely not a bad thing. Even from the beginning, I've been planning to shut it down. The Akasha's centralized administration of knowledge has always restrained people's curiosity and curtailed the number of paths available to them. I don't think this is good for Sumeru.
Right.
Although people may initially feel a little uncomfortable with the loss of the Akasha, they will soon understand that this life is more suitable for them.
Like losing a cell phone.
As for the future of Sumeru, I'm preparing to regain control of the academia.
There you
The
go.
former sages have received their punishment, but the new sages have yet to be selected. I will oversee the process personally.
There you
I hope that the new 6 great sages will be more focused on academics. Sumeru needs such leaders more than ever. The other big issue is the people of King Deshret. All the residents of the desert, in fact. They have been mistreated for far too long. I've already taken some measures to address this. It will take some time to rebuild everything, but no matter if it's culture, friendship, or trust, we will rebuild it.
Guess you'll be really busy now. Yeah, what happened after I fell asleep?
You mean, what happened after the doctor put you to sleep?
Take both the Nosu.
Not exactly. The top-ranked Fatui Harbingers, up to number 3, possess power comparable to that of gods. I was no match for him in that kind of situation. However, in spite of the bad situation, I still managed to make a fair deal with the doctor. I'm sure you remember the entity that changed your fate, the Heavenly Principles. In fact,
Wait, what?
the Heavenly Principles has been quiet since the Conria disaster 500 years ago.
What?
I used this point as leverage against the doctor. I told him that the Heavenly Principles may be awakened if I destroy the Gnosis. Although it's just a bluff, he still fell for it. I assumed that the Heavenly Principles wouldn't just stand by and let such extensive damage to its laws take place.
Why about that goddess?
As for what I exchanged for the Gnosis, the exchange served as both punishment for the doctor, as well as a boon of new knowledge that I couldn't refuse as the God of Wisdom.
But we still don't know what she... Still, now the Fatui have 4 Gnosis. Great. Yeah, about the Balladeer, Scaramouche.
He's still in a coma. I've hidden him like how one would hide a feather. I know you have many misgivings about him, but as someone who had become a god, he has retained a number of very useful features. Don't worry, I'll keep an eye on him and make sure he doesn't do any evil. In addition, there are still some mysteries left in him. Some things may be very clear from my perspective, but he is still yet to understand them himself. His future will be determined by fate.
So about Fontaine, the next stop of my journey.
Is that where you're headed next? Fontaine, the nation of justice? As far as I know, that nation operates in a judicial system.
Does their Archon personally judge people?
No, there's a Chief Justice in Fontaine.
Really?
Generally speaking, the Hydra Archon, Focalor, won't preside over individual trials.
Really?
However, Even then, Focalor will still make herself present at just about every trial. It seems that she just likes to immerse herself in that sort of atmosphere. As Archon, she still reserves the right to influence the final verdict. Anyway, let's just say she's got, a very unique personality.
We're gonna have like some Ace Attorney stuff, aren't we? I can't, like, I'm excited. I'm excited for what we're gonna see in Fontaine, even though we're probably gonna have to wait until 2023. Late 2023, probably. If the past has any indication. Anyway, I guess we already asked about our brother.
Are you sure? Isn't there something else you haven't asked about yet? Huh?
Sure.
You mean about your
Oh.
brother?
Oh yeah.
While you were resting at Gandharvaville, I took some time to perform an Irminsul search for information on your brother.
But we both came from beyond the sea stars. There's getting information on him in there. Right?
Yeah! Isn't Irminsul a repository for all the information and memories of Teyvat? So there shouldn't be anything on her or her brother.
This is true in your case. Irminsul indeed does not have any information on you.
After everything I've done!
However,
Wait.
there must be something different about your brother. Because, as it turns out, the world has recorded information on him after all.
What? Is it because he's been part of the Abyss? I mean, but
There's only one possible explanation. He belongs to this world.
What? It's not possible. We journeyed the Sea of Stars all our lives until we came here. We possibly come here. This don't add up. Is there anything wrong with my memories, or is it the world that has done something to him?
Nothing about this makes any sense! Wasn't this your first trip to Teyvat?
According to the records I was able to access, your sibling suddenly appeared in Conria.
Conria?
After the Conria disaster, he began his journey through the 7 nations of Teyvat.
Oh.
But just as his journey was about to reach its conclusion, the Irminsul records on him suddenly become fuzzy.
What?
What do you mean, fuzzy? Did something happen to him?
All I know for sure is that somebody, for reasons only they can know, is deliberately obfuscating his fate. And whoever it is, if they can do that, who knows what else they're capable of.
But even that wouldn't explain how he somehow comes from this world.
Yeah.
Something else I noticed was that according to these records, the Fatui have not classified your sibling as one of the Descenders.
You mean?
What's a Descender? Paimon's never heard of it.
Yeah, this is the first I'm hearing about this.
Look, I'm sure you must be curious about the information I received from the Fatui in return for my gnosis, right?
Well, yeah.
A very important part of the intel was about this world's Descenders. External beings, ones that don't belong to this world. Traveler, you are Teyvat's 4th Descender.
4th?
Huh? So the Fatui count 3 other Descenders before the Traveler, and her brother isn't even one of them?
Wait, there are 3 people who don't belong in this world?
That's right. My current hypothesis is that the first Descender was likely what we now call the Heavenly Principles. As for the other Descenders, I still need to verify their existence. It could take me some time.
Paimon's head's about to burst from all this crazy new information.
You sure it's not Paimon? Is Paimon one of the Descenders? I mean, is that, or is...
And yet,
always
even knowing all this, I'm sure you must still have a lot of unanswered questions. I must say, I truly regret that I can't help you more as the God of Wisdom.
Give us more information than the others, for sure. Like the others, like everyone else has not been able to talk, had never been able to, like, always were like, oh, sorry, I don't know anything about your brother, sorry about that.
There are many questions in my heart as well. I will need some time to go through each one of them.
I'll need to reflect on what you said, like another year.
And soon, you'll also begin your journey anew and depart from Sumeru.
Yeah, but we'll be here for a while.
I'm very interested in your future. It's a journey that can't be observed or recorded by this world. If fate is the ultimate knowledge, then your future will be the ultimate fate.
I'm sure glad we got to meet you, Nahida.
I'm glad.
The pleasure is all mine. I can't thank you enough. Alright, that's enough talk for today.
Right.
If you ever miss me, just close your eyes, and maybe I'll appear in your dreams.
I mean, you're journeying with us, so... Well... Here we go. Chapter 3 complete.
Things in Sumeru have settled down now. Paimon bets people will be coming up with new and interesting ideas at this time. How about we take a walk around Sumeru City and see if anyone needs our help? Paimon has a sneaking suspicion that it just might pay off.
Think we're gonna run into Dory or something?
Is there anything you want to know?
Oh yeah. Yeah, this... all this stuff.
And soon, you'll all... I'm very... If
Okay.
fate is the...
I'm sure glad we got...
The pleasure is... Alright.
Alright. Oh. It's interesting that she's still... Like, it's interesting that she's not, like... That she's not, like... You know... Like, staying far away from this thing, considering that she was trapped here for centuries. Like... For, like, centuries now. But... Yeah, like... So confused about who, like, the heavenly principles are, but... I mean, is it just that goddess that friggin' messed with everyone, or is it just... Ah, okay, so they're just the things that we've gotten from our... Yeah, we got... Painted blood... Monolith fragment... Sword of the Vortex... Funerary mask... Trophy... Meaning... Being... Realm dispatch... Stubby... And the... And of course, all these other things that we've collected on our... That is it. I mean, I know I could probably try, I could get that more, but I mean, I kind of like being around. Like, there's some, I feel like there's something that we... Like because I remember we got something back in the chasm, like way back in the, like at least back in the chasm, where we were able to. Way back in the chasm that we got something like that would be useful in Sumeru, but I'm surprised it hasn't come up. Oh. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. And for as long... Yeah. Oh, frick! Huh. I was kind of expecting that there would be... That we'd be able to, like... That there'd be, like, some sort of portal that could lead into the fight against the Valadier. I guess we'll have to wait a little bit before that, or wait a minute. Like, oh, okay, this is just for the bats, which they show the frickin'. Sometimes they feel like they yeah, but we So then we have a new event that we can do. But yeah, it's late right now. It's late, and I've already gone above. And yeah. Whoo-wee! I was not expecting it to go on this long, but hey. Honestly, I thought we were actually gonna run out of time, or that we were just gonna or not have as much to do, you know? But I mean, hey, I'm glad I didn't push last time, so so yeah. Anyway, so right, today is Wednesday. I thought it was I don't know. My head, like I don't know. Okay. Anyway, since we had Crab Friend around, we'll be let's go and yeah, just talk about our Crab Friend that we made during Tainari's quest. Anyway, have a good night, God bless, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye!